Hello. Welcome to my channel. Today's story is about Rania, who was born with the face of a beast, as a result of a generational curse. But before we dive into her story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated on my latest content. Now, let's get into the story. In the kingdom of Ardra, King Akand ruled with wisdom and equity amongst his subjects and those of the neighboring kingdoms. King Akand has 7 sons, and a daughter named Rania. Though graced with a beautiful body, Princess Rania has the face of a beast, an affliction from a curse that had beset her lineage from the past. Yet within Rania is a heart of gold. She is kind and gentle. Despite her inner virtue, her outward appearance proved a barrier to getting suitors. She drew admirers from kingdoms near and far, only to be rejected at the sight of her face. She yearned for love, yet no suitor claimed her hand, shunning her for her cursed appearance, thus leading to depression. Witnessing their daughter's anguish, King Akand and Queen Amumu were moved to despair. Desiring nothing but Rania's happiness, they embarked upon a quest to remove the curse that plagued her. Seers and herbalists were summoned, each administering their elixirs and potions, yet all their efforts merely aggravated Rania's condition. It was only when a seer spoke words of truth, declaring that only true love could lift the curse, that hope emerged. Determined to find Rania a husband whose love would transcend the veil of her cursed appearance, King Akand and Queen Amumu had a banquet, inviting all eligible suitors, princes, and nobles from kingdoms afar. Yet, one by one, she was rejected, plunging her deeper into the abyss of sorrow and despair. In the solitude of her chambers, Princess Rania withdrew from the world, her spirit cloaked in the shadows of isolation. Amidst the solitude, Dasu, her childhood friend, companion, and confidant, offered solace. Dasu, daughter of the palace's chief security, offered her unwavering support to the princess, her bond with Rania forged from childhood. Despite the difference in status that separated them, Rania sees Dasu as a sister. In the far kingdom of Wida, amidst the splendor of his father's affluence, lived Savi, the first son of Chief Agaja, handsome and charming, yet blind. Once known for his arrogance, Savi's countenance now bore the weight of sorrow, his sight stolen in the cruel embrace of fate. Where once his charm and confidence kindled admiration, now his affliction cast him in a sea of loneliness. Though wealthy, no woman wanted to be burdened with him because of his disability. Savi wasn't born blind, rather he became blind after a fall from his horse. A fairy wanting to punish him for his arrogance had caused the horse to stumble, and while Savi was on the floor she struck him with blindness. Many herbalists and seers were summoned from kingdoms far and wide. The veil over his eyes remained unyielding. Enveloped in despair, Savi retreated within himself. He had lost all hope of ever regaining his sight. While attending the wedding celebration in another kingdom, Chief Agaja of Wida and King Akand of Ardra met and shared tales of family woes. King Akand bemoaned the condition of his daughter, bereft of suitors, while Chief Agaja lamented the plight of his sightless son and the parade of gold-digging women. In the middle of the conversation, an idea ignited within Chief Agaja's mind. Proposing a union between their 2 children, he broached the idea to King Akand. Yet, the king hesitated, cognizant of his daughter's affliction. Nevertheless, swayed by the promise of alliance and the assurance that his son would never behold Rania's cursed appearance, Chief Agaja pressed the king to give the idea a thought. Weeks later, within the hallowed halls of Ardra, Chief Agaja beheld Princess Rania for the first time, his gaze arrested by her personality marred by the curse. Despite his initial shock, the allure of alliance with the king made him ask for Rania's hand for his son Savi. King Akand met with his queen and sons, who objected to the union but bowed to the dictates of diplomacy, consenting to the match. Yet, in the confines of her chambers, Princess Rania grappled with the weight of her decision. Dasu, steadfast in her devotion, sought to dissuade her from surrendering to a life of compromise. But Rania, beset by the burden of her cursed appearance, believed this might be her only chance to find true love. Amidst the anticipation of the impending union, Chief Agaja relayed to Savi the enchanting beauty of Princess Rania, kindling a flame of excitement within the young man's heart. Yet, the flicker of joy was tempered by the stark reality of his impaired sight. As he pondered the princess's acceptance of him, Savi wondered about her motivations for agreeing to a union with a blind man, but he didn't receive any satisfactory reason from his father, leaving him to struggle with uncertainty as the day of betrothal approached. With the wedding date set, Chief Agaja and his entourage arrived in Ardra Kingdom, warmly welcomed by King Akand, who had also ordered silence among his people about the princess's condition. The princess and Savi were introduced, and there was an instant connection. The princess fell in love with Savi, and though he couldn't see her, was comforted by her voice and kind nature, starting to feel affection for her. The wedding ceremony was a simple and quiet one, as King Akand didn't want to draw attention to the situation. Princess Rania, with mixed emotions, said goodbye to her family and set off to Wida with her loyal friend Dasu, leaving behind a mixture of sadness and anticipation for the miracle they all hoped for. As the bridal procession reached Wida, Princess Rania prepared for her union with Savi, feeling both eager and nervous. Under the moon's light, Savi, guided by love, consummated their marriage with passion. As they slept, Savi dreamed of a future with Rania, full of love and devotion. At dawn, Savi woke up with a feeling of happiness and contentment as he remembered his marriage and the night he had just spent with his wife. However, when he turned and looked at his sleeping bride, he was terrified and screamed, pulling away in shock. Rania, waking up, hid herself, feeling ashamed and sad. Savi's scream woke his family, and he told them about the horrifying sight. It was then it occurred to him and everyone present that he had regained his sight. His sight has been miraculously restored by Rania's love. Chief Agaja explained Princess Rania's curse and urged Savi to show her love and compassion. But despite his family's pleas, Savi was disgusted and treated Rania with cruelty and indifference. He then turned to Rania's friend Dasu, who didn't think twice before betraying her friend. Feeling betrayed, Rania was deeply hurt by Dasu's actions, breaking their bond. Despite her pain, she found comfort in Mijo, whose friendship helped heal her broken spirit. Mijo, though bound by duty and family loyalty, secretly longed for a love he knew was forbidden. Ignoring their parents' warnings, Savi continued his affair with Dasu, heading towards inevitable disaster. Each day, the consequences of their actions grew more threatening, darkening their once happy lives. Their fates became tangled in a web of deceit and despair, with lasting repercussions. Burdened by sorrow, Princess Rania asked her in-laws for a break and returned to her kingdom. There, she told her father, the king, about her suffering, which made him furious with Savi and Dasu. The king returns the bride price, breaking the bond between Princess Rania and Savi. When the bride price was returned, the bond between Savi and Princess Rania was broken. Darkness fell over Savi, and he lost his sight again. Savi became increasingly sad and angry. One day, in a fit of rage, he pushed Dasu, who fell and hit her head on the floor, dying from the injury. Overcome with grief, Savi walked into the forest and ended his own life. The family was sad, but Mijo continued his friendship with Princess Rania, visiting her kingdom often. Rania eagerly awaited his visits, feeling happy when he was there and sad when he left. Mijo fell deeply in love with her. He told his father about his feelings, but his father warned him that the king would never allow them to marry. Undeterred, Mijo confessed his love to Rania, who revealed she felt the same. Their challenge was gaining the king's approval. Rania told one of her brothers, the king's favorite. He spoke to the king on behalf of Rania and Mijo. Initially, the king refused, but after finding out that Mijo loved his daughter dearly and remembering the words of the seer, he agreed, and Rania and Mijo got married. They returned to Wida, where Rania had mixed feelings, remembering her past life with Savi. However, Mijo quickly helped her overcome her sadness. To King Akand and his family's surprise, Rania's condition remained unchanged after being married to Mijo for several months. The seer had predicted she would regain her sight after marrying her true love, and they believed Mijo was that person, but nothing happened. Shortly afterwards, Rania became pregnant with Mijo's baby. Both families were overjoyed, eagerly awaiting the baby's arrival. One day, Mijo convinced Princess Rania to take a walk with him. Rania usually stayed indoors to avoid people, but after much persuasion, she agreed. Even though she wore a veil, the citizens had heard about her curse. As they walked, people on the street began mocking her. Weeping, Rania ran back to the house with Mijo following closely behind. For many days, Rania was sad and lamented her condition. She prayed to God, asking him to take away the curse because she was innocent and it wasn't fair for her to suffer for her ancestors' sins. After 9 months, Rania went into labor. It was a difficult labor that lasted 10 hours. When she finally gave birth, she was so exhausted that she fainted. The midwives did everything they could to revive her, but it seemed Rania had lost the fight. As Mijo held his son, he wept over the loss of his wife. Later, when the women went in to prepare Rania for burial, they were shocked by what they saw. Their screams brought Mijo running to her side, where he witnessed Rania transformed. The curse had lifted. He called her name, and she opened her eyes. Mijo was amazed to see Rania as the most beautiful woman in all the kingdoms. Rania emerged as a symbol of beauty and grace, freed from the curse. She and Mijo had more children, and their lives showed the power of love to overcome even the darkest curses. In their shared joy, Rania and her family found their happily ever after, proving the strength of love and resilience. If you love this story, kindly comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. Until next time, remember that life is a journey of lessons, and sometimes the hardest choices lead to the most profound growth. Thank you for watching and goodbye.